looking some more at the actual copy, the text that you have and the script, I notice that there's also a very common mistake that people make when writing marketing copy, in that often the marketing that people really notice is the stuff that's really in your face. It's kind of like, it's the most super amazing mega turbo. Um, and look, we all know that no one likes that, but here's the kind of marketing secret. That stuff, unless you are very, very good at it and you've done lots of testing, it doesn't tend to work because it's obvious. And it tends to put people off. Now, the best marketers will tend to focus on language that avoids a lot of adjectives, a lot of describing words like, super amazing, mega, and just stick to the words or the adjectives that accurately describe the best parts of what it is that they're actually promoting. So in this case, I would say you could absolutely get away with saying like, this can help you bring back some of the fun times that you might have had going to drive-in movies when you were younger. Fun is not a problem there, but when you start getting into these very generic adjectives, that, like saying it's the most amazing ever, don't say it's amazing, say what's amazing about it. That would be kind of one of my pieces of advice on the actual text. Like, I love that he's got like, okay, bonus, if we double our goal, will additionally include a free 2500 lumen 720p HD projector with your cable pack. What's beautiful about that is no one hears specific numbers like that and goes, they're just exaggerating.
Right.
Where you say the most amazing ever, people are like,
that's puffery, right?
Yeah. And I think that's especially true on Kickstarter, where there's a bit of an anti-sales kind of culture.
Yeah, there's that. There's also you're doing a little bit of an uphill battle to be genuine on Kickstarter, because this hasn't. It's starting to happen. It hasn't. There was kind of a honeymoon period where it wasn't happening so much, but it's starting to happen that people are a little bit more. Not suspicious is not quite the right word, but critical, a little bit more skeptical, let's say, as to whether people are really going to be able to deliver, whether they really know what they're talking about, and so on. And so, part of what you're trying to do on here is it's almost like prestige marketing. You're trying to say, yes, I'm a real person. Yes, I really can do this. This is why I can do this. And there's a certain amount of what you're trying to get across is credibility rather than just sales, because there's not like it's because you've sort of lowered the gatekeeper boundary. You've created the possibility where somebody can come in who just has no idea what they're doing and says, I'm going to do this amazing thing, and that becomes even less believable, because you don't feel like there's that kind of guarantee behind it. So you're making the case that yes, you should be taken seriously, and I think that would be another impact of sort of reducing the in-your-face aspect of the way it's written. Just go with a more direct, a little bit more of a conventional hierarchical, a little bit more hierarchical distribution of information. Because that's one thing I see in this opening paragraph is just a lot of boldface. And it kind of comes and goes out of focus, and it's kind of like I kind of want to read a headline. It's going to tell me what, and then deliver on that headline and tell me, why should I be reading this? What's it about? And just a little bit more direct, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's worth pointing out that every time you emphasize one thing, you're actually de-emphasizing all the other things that you've done already. So I know it's when people are first writing marketing copy, it's very tempting to try and say everything's the most
Right. Everything
important.
louder than everything
But
else.
yeah, and when everything's the most important, nothing is
Right.
important. Um, so like looking over this, I would not actually have bolded like drive-in movies or drive-in theaters. That's part of the story, but it's not one of the most important things for people to take away. And yet we've got drive-in movies, theaters, multiplex theaters, drive-in bolded 4 times in the opening paragraph. Now, I will say any one of these things, I don't think Kickstarter would have gone, that one thing,
No.
that's why we're turning down
No,
this
it would,
project.
but all of these things they could contribute to an overall impression of the project. Like they could create an idea that they just don't think it sounds as good as it should, And I think that collectively they could have an impact. And the other thing about them is that these are things that can be fixed. This is stuff you can fix with editing.
Absolutely. Just going through, uh, removing removing the bolding from anything that's not critical, editing the video so the audio is not overlapping. Um, I would say really making a case for how what you're doing is both going to actually create an actual product in the world that is unique, that is completely unique, that it's in some way, shape, form, price has never really been seen before. So let's see. Just a couple of little touches on the video itself, just to go back to that. I know we're jumping all over the place. You did use music in one part of it, which I think helped, but one thing that can really help just give continuity and flow through the entire video is to have music that flows through the entire video. Um, I would probably aim to actually have music that just runs the entire thing. Now, I won't say that's a hard rule that thou shalt never have silence, but when you're starting out as a beginning editor, if you don't have a lot of experience, it's a lot easier to make something look good if the music is kind of covering over those spots where the video jumps from one thing to another.
Yeah. I would point out that you want to make sure you have the rights to the music.
Oh, good point.
I
Good
didn't pay any
point.
attention to what was in here, but there is of course free licensed music out there you can use and stuff.
And not just the music either, because we're showing video here.
Yeah, there might be an argument that if it's a short enough piece, like he's showing it on the screen in the
Mm,
background back there,
it's
yeah,
fair
maybe it doesn't
use.
matter. On the other hand, if you want to be really careful, you could use footage from one of the free movies, one of the Wonder free movies, or Sita Sings the Blues, or something that's free licensed.
Mhm.
So that
Or Lunatics when it
well, it's
comes
not
out.
out, so we can't use that yet. But yeah, when it comes out, you might want to consider using things like that just to avoid any issues with that. Um,
Good point.